Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about balance transfer cards, what they are, how to use them. And they were a key strategy for me and a key tool for me when I was trying to get out of debt. The very first thing that you will probably need to have is a credit card. And if you're in credit card debt, you need to have a card that has a balance available so that you can actually use it to transfer money over. And what the balance transfer does is it lowers or completely eliminates the interest payment so that you can actually get out of debt, so that more of your money that you're paying every single month is actually going to the principal to actually pay that sucker off and not going to interest. And that's one of the main reasons why I use balance transfer cards to get out of debt. Any major credit card will most likely have a balance transfer. The only one I haven't seen is American Express. But your Visa, your MasterCard, Discover has this available. The main strategy you need to keep in mind is you have to be able to make enough payments by the time that 0% or that special percentage rate expires. So they'll give you a time frame. You know, sometimes it can be 6 months, 8 months, a year and a half. You will have to calculate if you are putting $5,000, for example, on that balance transfer card, that you are able to pay that card off before that term expires. So you do have to do some calculations. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm actually going to apply for a balance transfer. Now, just keep in mind that I do have a glitch. My computer software deleted it the first time around when I did it. So when we jump into the video, I'm going to go over it and kind of pretend that I'm starting over from scratch. The part that feels overwhelming is just not knowing how to do it, or maybe doing it for the first time and you're nervous. So I'm going to walk you through how I do this strategy. I am older. I'm a little bit more established, so don't pay attention to, oh my gosh, I could never afford this, but use it as a tool for you so you can actually see how to go through it and do it yourself with your own dollars and what you are comfortable paying. This is not financial advice, so just keep that in mind that I'm using this for my own experience and using a strategy that helped me get out of debt and is helping me get out of debt, and that you can use this for your own situation if it works for you. I will tell you already that just this strategy alone for me is going to save me $5,000 in interest payments. So this is the power of what balance transfer cards can do. I knew I had to share it with people who are watching my channel or people who are in the same situation as me, because it's so powerful and gives you more money back in your pocket, and it helps you get to the next step and get out of debt. So let's dive in. Okay, we're going to do a balance transfer. And you can see I have $15,306.28 on my Costco Anywhere Visa. I want to actually find a way to not have to pay the $271 to $300 a month in interest on this card. So I'm only going to actually transfer about $12,500 over. So I want to find a card that I can do this with. Now, I had already done this and my recording software deleted everything. So I actually have to do this all over again. So I'll just recreate the steps for you and show you how I did this. So even though this available credit says $1,625, I actually had $14,500 on this card. So I'm just going to show you what I did here. And so I'm going to go transfer balances, and hopefully it shows all three options. So it does. Awesome. Okay. What each of these actually calculates to, because your first instinct is going to want to grab this one because it's 0%. But if we actually look at the dates on here, there's a bunch of different dates. So one gives you less time to pay it back at 0%, and then these ones, even though it's 2.99% or 0.99%, it gives you a little bit longer time, which means you don't have to pay as much. These just tells you if you don't pay off the balance, it's going to revert to a 21% interest rate, and now I'm paying about 19, almost 20% on my Costco card. And so this one, you also have to pay attention to the balance transfer fee. This is 3%. These two are 5%, so you're going to be paying a little bit more. So each one you actually have to calculate individually so you have a better idea of how much this is going to cost. So let's do that right now. All I did was search for credit card interest calculator, and I'm using this calculator. It's pretty simple, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to add, I don't want to add the $12,500 for this first one here. What I want to do is take the $12,500, I want to transfer and I actually want to add the 3% interest. So I'm going to multiply this by 1.03%. So I'm actually going to be transferring $12,875, and I'm going to put in the interest rate of 2.99%, and I want to pay it off by, I think it's 1 year, and let's do 2.5 months. So it's June through September. So I'm going to calculate this, and this tells me I am going to pay $905.17 per month, and my total interest is going to be $250.01. So on top of this $12,875, I'm going to add $250.01. So my total payoff for this first option is this amount, this $13,125.01. And then what I'm going to add right under it is the monthly amount that I'm going to have to pay. Okay, let's do the second option. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the $12,500, and I'm actually going to have to multiply it by 5%. So we're going to do 1.05. I'm actually going to be paying $13,125 for this second option, and we're going to put in 0%. We're actually going to be paying this off in about 9.5 months, because I want to make sure that I'm going to pay it off before that April 1st date here. So I'm not going to do like 10 months. I actually want to make it a little bit less so that I'm paying it off in like March 30th. So we're going to put $1381.58 for this second one. Let's do the third one. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take $12,500. We're going to multiply it by 5%, and that's going to give us $13,125. So it's the same as the middle one. We're going to put in 0.99%. And this one is the longest. It's October 1st. So I'm actually going to be paying this off in 1 year. It's about 3.5 months. So we need to pay $852.55 per month. And the total interest is $89.51. But first, I need to add this $89.51, because we're actually going to be paying a total of $13,214.51 if we choose this third option. So let's get this all up on the same page. You can see now that when we actually break this out, these two are almost the exact same that you're paying total, but it has drastically different monthly amounts. And then the last one, even though it gives you more time and a lower interest rate, the interest rate is between the two of these, the fee is 5%, and so it actually adds to the amount that you have to pay back, even though the dollar amount is a little bit lower. Now, the difference between this high one and this one is about $89. So honestly, any one of these works as long as it fits in with your budget and your ability to repay it back. Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're not getting into the 21% and that you can actually pay this back, and that you're not actually overextended, because what you don't want to do is run up your first card that you're trying to pay down while you're trying to pay this one down. I'm going to select this offer. This is the one we wanted to go with. And I'm going to transfer. Oh, I can just type it in. They're adding the fee down here. So this comes out to this $12,875 with that fee. Okay, I'm going to get started. I'm putting $12,875 on this card. I have this amount left afterwards. This is actually going to hit my bank for $12,500. The fee is $375. And then I am going to hit review. So $12,875, yes. Promo balance 2.99% on balance transfers until September 1st, 2026. So I'm only going to pay total $13,125.01. Now that is pretty awesome to only have to pay $250 in interest. I get over a year to pay this off, and I save, let's see, how much was I spending on interest? Probably about $271. And if I multiply that by 14.5 months, it saves me $4,000. So this is why I'm doing this. I would rather pay $250 than to give them $4,000 in the same amount of time. So I added 12 months, so 1 year, plus this 2.5 months. And that gave me that 14.5 months. Guys, this is a lot of money. This is money back in my pocket that I'm not paying towards this credit card anymore. Read the fine print here.
so that there's nothing that kind of catches me, because some of these, like, you cannot transfer balances from other accounts issued by Citibank or its affiliates. So if I transfer it to my bank account, it should be fine, because then I can pay off my Costco and then I'll have this balance, and it should be fine. Let's hope. I'm going to cross my fingers there. All right. All set. Your balance transfer request is complete. Total amount, $12,875. It's going to go into my checking account, less the $375 fee. That's what they're going to keep. It'll hit my bank account, and that's it. All done. I found this balance transfer calculator just to see what the difference was if I had kept this balance at my current interest rate and the amount of my monthly payments. It's actually much higher. Because it's based on that $15,000, not this $12,000, but I put in that monthly amount just because it's easy. My new balance transfer card details. So the regular interest rate is 21.24%. I put in the 2.99%. This is the monthly payment. It's for 14 months, and the balance transfer fee. So I recalculated this, and look what I'm getting. So it's pretty close to what I kind of was doing, like the back of the napkin table math at $4,000, but when it's actually calculated out, it says it will take me 50 months. It would take me a little over 4 years to pay off the $12,500, and it would cost me $5,700 in interest. So I would pay for that $12,500 would actually cost me $18,000. Absolutely ridiculous. So now that I'm changing things over, it says it's going to take about 15 months to pay off my debt. I made it 14, and in that time I will only pay $257 in interest for a total of $13,132. Now we already calculated that, so I know it's a little bit less, so I can tell this calculator is a little bit off. That's okay. I just wanted to show you, this is the power of balance transfers. That $5,000 is now going back into your pocket, and it's not going to take you 4 years to pay something off. It's going to take you a lot less time. And your balances may not be as high as mine. They may be higher than mine. So it'll just depend on what you're able to do. You can use smaller amounts of your balance transfers to pay things off, but I just wanted to show you how I do this so that you can also do it and feel empowered. I think a lot of times people will say, oh, just do this, but it's a different story to actually show you how this works. Here's the payment hitting my bank account. This was the balance transfer that I deposited, the $12,500. For some reason, I like to do exact payments, so I split these in two, but you can see the $12,000 payment plus an extra $2,000, almost $2,000. So the full $12,500 was paid towards the Costco card that I was trying to pay down. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like here. I know I talked about this already, but again, just to caution you that if you aren't able to take advantage of this situation, at least keep this tool in your back pocket, because maybe you can use it later on. You don't have to open credit cards. You don't have to do anything that I'm recommending in this video if it doesn't work for you. You know your own financial situation, and you do have to be cautious. Of course, one of the things that I mentioned earlier that I'll say again is that if you're using this as a strategy, you have to make sure that you can pay off whatever you transfer in the amount of time you're going to transfer, because what's the point of paying things down and then you have a balance left, and then that introductory interest rate is going to go up to 20+%. So I don't want you to get into another situation where you're continuing to get in debt, and then once you're done with this balance transfer card, I don't typically use them again. I usually leave them open because it helps my credit score over time. And then of course, read the fine print. When you're going through, make sure you understand what you're doing and what this card's limitations are. So I'm really excited. I've actually filmed this a couple of months ago, so I have had a couple of months where I've been able to pay this card down. I'm really excited to share this with you today. As of October 17th, I'm filming this, and my remaining balance is $7,992, so about $8,000. And you can see this was my original amount. So I had to redo this, so I I changed things up a little bit because I didn't originally have the interest in here. This $250 and 1 penny is the interest that I owe. These are my actual amount. I'm close to this $900 every single month. A couple months I wasn't able to get there. But overall, I'm up $356.61. And I took that number from where I'm at now, this remaining balance, versus where I should have been if I just paid the minimum amount in order to pay this off by August 2026, because the due date is September 1st. So I am on track actually to pay this off by May, hopefully, if my budget is spot on and I don't have any surprises come up. So I just wanted to show you what the difference was and where I'm at today. You can actually pay things down a lot faster, so I'm really excited about that.
The last thing that I'll leave you with is don't feel ashamed because you're in debt. I'm really proud of you for taking these steps and really working on your money and working on your mindset and trying to find the tools to help you get to the level that you want to get to. It is a very difficult thing to climb out of debt. I'm still going through it myself. So we're in the same boat, but don't feel alone and don't feel ashamed. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It was so nice to see you. Leave me a comment. Let me know you stopped by, and I will see you in the next one.